I am Sari Cohen with Awards Buzz. Um, Katie, this is awesome. I really loved what you did with this show. I want to hear, just take me through the story from the beginning. How did this start?
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for watching, first of all. So how this started is Tubi was looking to do their first scripted series, and they were sort of looking to do something in like the workplace comedy space with sort of like an exploration about generations. And I met with them and I was like, I got it. I see it. And so, yeah, I saw these characters super clearly. And we sort of explored this like Gen X versus Gen Z thing, and it takes place at an ad agency in New York. And yeah, I just wanted to bring back just a really funny, like funny comedies. I don't know, I love fun comedies, and so that's kind of how it came about.
Mm. Well, it's cool because it's Tubi's first in-house live action comedy. And what I really love about the show, like in an age where we kind of just do identify with our generations, this show didn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
You've got, Gen X, millennial, and Gen Z, and the two of them, you really see a lot there play out with this.
Yes, you see a lot. And yeah, the hook
Yeah.
of the show was definitely Gen X working with Gen Z, but it was really important to me that nobody was right. This is not a show that is preaching about generations or work ethic or entitlement. It really was everybody's doing their best, everybody's flawed, and there's no right answer. So I'm glad you took that away.
Yeah. I want to hear about how you centered on Lauren Graham for this because she is being the star of Gilmore Girls. She is like a pop culture face of a generation. So how did that all come together?
So, full disclosure, I don't remember because I think I blacked out. All I know is I wrote the script, and when you write something, you don't ever imagine that people are actually going to do it. Like that's kind of insane. And so I have no clue how Lauren got involved because I think my brain was just too excited that it just blocked all of that out. I just know I got on a Zoom with her and I was a massive Gilmore Girls fan. I love that show. I've rewatched it a million times. And she popped up on a Zoom and she's as cool and lovely and everything you would imagine. And I talked to her about the character. And then Lauren showed up and made the material a million times better. So that I was like, okay, we're in good hands. We're in good hands. Yeah. But she's incredible. She's so funny and smart. And, I wrote this character of Monica and you write something and then you sort of have an idea of how this person's going to live. And then Lauren showed up and made it far smarter and more interesting and dimensional than I ever could have written. And so I was like, this is great. Like, go for it. So she was a dream.
It was awesome. I mean, watching the dynamic of really everyone was super cool. Talk to me a little bit about what you wanted to highlight with the generations.
Yes. So I am a boring millennial. And so what I wanted to highlight was but I have a lot of generational friendships and we all grew up in different times and we all learned things the way that we thought were best. And then I felt like what I wanted to highlight was everybody has something to learn, but everybody has a little bit of a chip on their shoulder of how they think it should be done. And so I sort of just wanted to highlight the comedy of that, everybody was trying to do their best, but also felt like they had a lot to say. And those were kind of the two competing conflicts that I wanted to highlight.
Mhm.
And the actors made it really easy and fun.
I want to go into some of those details a little bit and kind of, in your opinion, now, having done this, what do you feel like Gen X or millennials can learn from Gen Z and what Gen Z can learn from millennials, Gen X?
Yes. So I totally went into this process being the thing I didn't want to be, where I was like, this generation. And I came in thinking Gen Z was very entitled and had no work ethic. And then coming out of it, I was like, oh, I think Gen Z's right. Like, I think this generation actually is correct. Like I think they've figured it out. I think they're really cool. And then by the end of the process, I had like all these like Gen Z trinkets that like people on the cast had given me, and I was that like person where everybody was like, "Oh, she's trying." But yeah, I felt like I don't know. I think Gen X has a great work ethic and has really worked to get where they are and has put in the time and the energy. And I think Gen Z is a little bit more like we value our lives and we want to live a more well-rounded life. And so I feel like Gen Z has a lot to learn from Gen X in the sense that like you have to put your time in. You
Mm.
know, like not everything is immediate. You're not entitled to everything. Like you do have to put in the work. And I think Gen X can learn from Gen Z that there can be a balance in things. It doesn't have to be black or white.
I love that. Like we just all work together.
Yeah.
I totally took that away. Um, so I just want to ask you when people are watching this show, what do you think makes it so awesome? What about the show is like people are gonna love?
I think the characters. I think the characters are really fun and different and unique, and they all have their own perspectives and their own lives going on. And at the end of the day, I think you watch shows for the people and for the characters and what you see yourself in and what you don't. And so I just think the actors did an incredible job of playing these super fun characters and making them far better than I could have ever imagined. And I hope people watch and enjoy it and laugh. I mean, it's a comedy, you know, like sure, there's a little bit of a message, but at the end of the day, I just want it to be a fun, enjoyable watch.
So one more quick question. If there was one trend you wish each of the generations would adopt from each other.
Oh, that's a really good question. Okay, I wish Gen Z would maybe adopt a little bit more balance with like social media from Gen X, like a little bit more like we can put our phone away. Everything doesn't have to be online. Like we don't have to share everything online. I think would be like a nice thing to adopt. And then I think Gen X could adopt from Gen Z a little bit more carefree, go with the flow. Like who knows when our next paycheck is going to come in? We'll figure it out. Like I think that's a great mindset to adopt.
I love it. Katie, the show is so awesome. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Thank you. Thank you for watching it.
Yeah, yeah, it was a pleasure.